to soul, soul to soul, soul to soul. Soul to soul, 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 soul to soul.
Your mind is a powerful thing when you fill it with positive thoughts. Welcome to the show, Shoal to Shoal Talk Show. Today we have Sister Kim from Australia with us. Welcome to the show, sister.
Thank you.
Tell me something about your upbringing.
My upbringing? Yeah. I was born in South Africa and I lived there until I was about 7 years old, and then I moved to Australia. I lived in Melbourne for a year and then Sydney until now.
Tell us something about your academic life.
I finished high school and I decided to become a dancer, so I did a full-time course in dancing, performed dancing, and then I also wanted to become a Hatha yoga teacher, so I completed a 3-year apprenticeship in Hatha yoga teaching with Yoga Synergy in Australia.
How good you were economically?
Neither too high nor too low, just fine.
Tell us something about your belief system.
My belief system, in what aspect?
Religious aspects.
Okay, I was brought up in a Jewish home, so my family practiced Judaism, and I really enjoyed the tradition of that, the family aspect, but it didn't really mean too much to me on a very deep level, so that's why when I came to the Brahma Kumaris, it touched something very deep inside of me, and I was able to understand the spiritual aspect of Judaism and other religions as well.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 1 full sister and 2 half sisters.
Were you a God-fear kind of person?
No, not at all.
Whom you used to look up when you were in crisis?
Actually, I was always brought up to believe in myself and to have faith in myself, and so I would consult whoever was necessary if it was a practical situation, but I didn't really look up to people in that I would seek advice, but rather I went inside to my own conscience, my own mind and heart, and I looked for the answers within.
Tell us something about your professional life.
Professional life is as a dancer, so professional dancer, contemporary dance, jazz dance, musical theatre, and also performing acrobatics and adagio, which is a special form of circus where 2 people work with counterbalances and acrobatic moves, and then I teach Hatha yoga as well. So I've done many other things as well, but they're the main current things.
Were you a very emotional kind of person?
No, I've never been very emotional. I've always been a bit detached in all relationships with my family, my Lokik family and spiritual family in the Brahma Kumaris. It's just my nature to be a little bit stable and detached. I don't get too emotional, I don't react. I've always been a little bit self-sufficient, and because I haven't needed things from outside, from other people, I haven't had too many expectations or desires from others, and therefore I've just been able to be a bit more stable.
How young you were when you came to this spiritual knowledge?
I was 16 years old. So when I was about 14 years old, I started searching in a way. I was reading lots of books. I would spend hours researching about different religions and spirituality. And then when I was about 16, I decided it was time for me to know God, and I wanted to have an experience of God, a personal experience, not just in books. And so I did. And then I found the Brahma Kumaris, and I felt that this was the community, this was the family with which I wanted to go on this spiritual journey with. And I felt that I had found a home where people were like me, in that I always wanted to be a very good person. I didn't want to just go, even at school, I didn't want to, go to parties and all of that. I wanted to really be a good person, not speak badly about other people. And so it was nice to find a community of like-minded souls.
Were you addicted to something?
I wasn't addicted to any physical substance. I guess we all have subtle addictions, maybe, but none that come to mind, actually. No addictions. Yeah.
How did you got attached to spiritual knowledge at such a tender age?
Maybe it was the result of a past life, who knows, but it was just my natural nature, my inclination. As I said, when I was about 14, I just naturally felt drawn to solitude, to searching for greater meaning and purpose, and I wanted to know the unseen world. So I wasn't content with the superficial. I wasn't content with parties and just school and study, and I wanted to know everything, actually. So I just wanted to know what was out there. So curiosity, and and then it just suited my personality in a natural way. I had very powerful experiences and good experiences in meditation straight away, and then I felt a deep affinity with the pure love within the Brahmin family. So I felt that this is what I wanted to dedicate my life to, actually. It just took one day to know that this is what I wanted to commit my life to. And I had this thought that was a very clear thought, and it was just, I know I will give everything up for this. And the rest has just been observing that reality unfold.
Did you ever thought you were left alone?
Actually, solitude was something which I enjoyed and seeked. So I very much enjoyed time alone, and it wasn't something which I felt was a negative thing in any way. It was something which I enjoyed. So I enjoyed my own company. I enjoyed time to think and to go deeper within my own mind and heart and see what was within.
Did the outer world influence you?
To some extent, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not separate from the world, so whatever I've learned has come from teachers and people around me, both, negative and positive. It's not either. So definitely, definitely in a good way, though, I'd say, mainly because I'd say it's one of my qualities that whatever happens to me, I always search for the best in the situation. So whether it would appear to be a negative situation or positive, I would search for the benefit within it, and so take the benefit only.
Are you single or married?
I'm single.
Why?
Because I've dedicated my life to service within the Brahma Kumaris, and I feel that I've had such experiences in meditation and through this family and this knowledge and a depth of understanding which is so deep within me now that I couldn't move away from it without dying inside. So this is my life now, and it is a life of celibacy and solitude, but also great beauty within the family and loving connections and a lot of fun.
Was it forced on you?
Not at all. My Lokik family wasn't in knowledge, so I came on my own through my own choice, my own decision. No force.
How did they react towards it?
My mother and sister then enjoyed it as well, so they reacted by thinking it was a good idea and coming to class as well. My mother and sister then came to Madhuban as well after me, and so I've been brought up in a very open-minded family, which encourages me to think for myself, and really they just want me to be happy. Probably my grandparents were a little more old-fashioned and just wanted me to practice a bit more Judaism and a bit more of a normal life. But apart from that, everyone's very supportive, and one thing my family is very rich in is love, and so everyone's very loving towards me and just wants me to be happy, and I'm, pretty happy, so that's the main thing.
You said that you had good experience in meditation. So, do you use God's power or meditation in your daily life?
Do I use it in my daily life? Definitely, because the teachings that we've received through God's teachings, the Murali, that has informed the way I live my life. So the way I think is according to what's in the Murali, the knowledge, and therefore what I think therefore informs how I act. And so whatever is coming through the Muralis, through my connection with God, then is how I'm choosing to live my daily life. So I'm integrating and connecting my heart, mind, words, actions.
How easy or difficult is it to use spirituality in your daily life?
There are probably things that are easier and things that are more difficult. Some of the easier things are just having a regular meditation practice for me, because that's something I enjoy. When you enjoy something, you naturally want to do it. Things that are more difficult are maybe when there's been some form of attachment in the past, and where then you've been called to do something that is moving away from that attachment. So a past way of acting, or a group of people or friends or anything like that, and then somehow doing something which is different or moving away from. In the past, however, nowadays what I prefer to do is not move away from things, but rather transform them. So rather than sort of moving away from the Lokik into the alokik life, transforming the Lokik, whether it's a practical job, whether it's a relationship, a friendship or family, and making it more spiritual, increasing the level of honesty and love and brotherly vision and things like this in just general activities.
If problems do come in your life, how do you handle it?
Well, I think it's different for every situation. There's no one recipe or one answer for all problems. It depends what it is. But I don't actually see problems. I see opportunities. So I believe that really, everything is possible, and I have a very positive outlook on life. So, challenges are really just opportunity to grow and learn something new and become stronger, or develop my own inner capacity. So I like to have a student outlook or a student attitude in whatever happens, and see how I can learn from it. And by learning, I'm able to take benefit from anything or anyone.
How often do you come to India?
I come to India every year. So I come at this time to Madhuban because there's the International Youth Forum and the International Coordinators Retreat, Youth Coordinators Retreat. And so I help facilitate and organize those and also participate. And so it's a very nice annual trip that is really a great sustenance and opportunity for me to plant positive seeds for the rest of the year that then naturally, automatically empower whatever else I do, I find.
How do you manage it financially to coming every year India?
Some years are easier, some years are more difficult, but as I've said, everything's possible, and if something's very important, then especially with my determined nature, if I want to do something, I'll find a way. And so if it's been a bit more tight financially, I'll get an extra job to make sure I can get here. But I always make sure I get here, and things just work out, I find. There's always enough, that's my experience. Sometimes not too much more than enough, but always enough for what I need.
What were the things you were searching for, and did you got your answers?
Yes, I searched for God, and I genuinely feel that I have had many experiences since then of the energy, the consciousness, the awareness that people call God, the light. And it took me a little while for it to sink in, this reality, but it's something that you can't really, maybe you can't prove to someone, but it's something that you know for yourself, and it's something that it's been such a powerful experience that I've had almost no choice but to dedicate my life to aligning my practical life with this new inner experience, which was so profound.
You spoke about your different experiences. You share a few of them with us.
I mean, they're very subtle experiences, so it's not something, it's almost subjective, but for me, some of the reoccurring themes, it's almost like when I go into silence and I concentrate my mind. Everyone has different types of experiences, but me personally, I'm very visual, I find, in my meditation, and so it's like someone turns on the light and there's just light everywhere, and sometimes there's waves of golden light or golden red light sort of coming, and sometimes it's more strong, sometimes it's more distant, and there's this sort of thought connection between this energy that I would say is the Supreme Soul and myself as a soul. The same energy that comes in the body of Daddy Gulzar, that came in Brahma Baba, that I am connecting with. And there's often a feeling of heat or power, so it feels like, if you can imagine, a big fire on top of your head. So it feels like there's this great energy and heat and fire. And sometimes the fire is more like electricity, and sometimes it's more like lava. But there's often this feeling of heat or fire or power or energy. And so heat and light for me, as I like to have very concentrated, silent meditations. Some people are very contemplative, they like to think and reflect, but I like a very silent, powerful meditation, and feeling very light in the body, and I just enjoy that experience very much. And there's something, it's almost like that experience satisfies the deepest desires of the soul, that there's no other experience. I can go out, and it's not that I've done nothing in my life, I can go dancing, I'm a dancer, I can dance, I have friends, I can do whatever I want, go for a walk, but there is nothing that satisfies myself as a soul on a very deep, true level than just that experience of the soul connecting with the Supreme Soul, and the experience of deep silence.
Did you ever thought of meeting God?
Never in my wildest dreams, because actually I never wanted to know God growing up. As I said, I come from a Jewish family, and even we have some rabbis in my family, so female rabbis even. So it's a very a modern, open-minded family, but still rooted in the Jewish tradition. And I had spoken to them, and these are rabbis, and they'd said, no, we don't know God, you can read books, you can have thoughts about God, you can understand different aspects, but no one really has an experience. And I never really wanted to know God because I was quite happy in my life. I was, just a young, happy girl in Sydney, I didn't really need to know God. But then there was this deep inner pull that happened when I was about 14, that I just felt drawn into solitude, and I felt almost pulled into silence, as if there was something, some energy that was pulling me or calling me as a soul, I the soul. And so I never wanted to know God until this very night when I was reading a book of some yogi who had had an experience of God and seeing this light, and I thought, that sounds cool, I'm going to do that. And so then I decided, right, now I'm going to know God, and I'm not going to leave my bed, my room, until I have an experience. And so I was doing whatever I could think of. I was dancing, and then I was chanting, and then I was becoming silent, and then I was calling out, and then I was just sitting still, and I was just doing whatever I'd read. I was only 16 at that time, and then I had this very powerful experience of, it's a sensing and energy. If someone walks up behind you, you can't see them, but you can feel someone's there, yeah? So it's like that. I could feel this presence, this energy. I didn't doubt the feeling. I doubted the light. It took me many years, almost a year or more years, to actually go, okay, this light is real as well, because I'm like, maybe it's a reflection, my imagination, so many doubts can come, but the feeling I never doubted, the deep experience. And so no, I never thought I would, and life turns out how it does. We don't plan everything, but it's almost like there's a greater plan at work that we just have to let go and enjoy.
How many times did you meet God?
I'm guessing you mean in the body of Daddy Gulzar. So if you mean that, I've been to Madhuban, had about 10 meetings. But I have many experiences, I couldn't count them. It's been, like 11 years, and every single day I couldn't go without having an experience, and I couldn't even go an hour without remembering God. I couldn't even go a minute without remembering God, to be honest. It's such a love. I have such a deep pull and love, and even an enthusiasm to experience more, because I think there's even more that I can experience. And so it's like a relationship, yeah? When you love someone, you don't remember them once, a day or once a year. You remember them all the time. It's like they're in your bones, the way they think, things they've done. It's like always on your mind, and whatever you do, you're thinking about how it relates to that, and how you can do what you're doing to get closer to them, and how you can have more experiences, and
What kind of relationship do you have with God?
It's a subtle relationship, so it's like on the soul level, but I would say in terms of like human relationships to relate it to, it's I would say friendship is probably the closest. So I would aim to have a relationship of some form of equality in terms of, it's not a fearing or worshipping or looking up to, and it's more of like a friendship. It's I like the relationship of friendship.
Did your parents thought that you are changing your religion?
No, because they knew that it wasn't a religion. Brahma Kumaris isn't really a religion, it's spirituality. And so, as I said, I came from a very open-minded family, and my mother in particular found that coming to the knowledge of the Brahma Kumaris helped her understand her own Judaism a lot better. So she was able to see that the spiritual practice, the meditation, the understanding of God found within the Brahma Kumaris enhanced and improved her Jewish practice.
We would like to know more about your spiritual journey in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you very much.